Dream is not that you see in sleep. Dream is something that doesn't let you sleep. This is a beautiful quote said by former President of India and rocket scientist Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. And why this is today's tagline? Because I believe this is a reason which brought me today before you. Let's start with some statistics. The latest Sustainable Development Goal 5 data states that the world is not in track to achieve gender equality by 2030. Even the UN report states that COVID-19 is expected to push 47 million women and girls into extreme poverty. During the time of pandemic, it was reported women have done 29% extra childcare per week. 1 in 2 women reported either them or someone they know have experienced violence since the start of pandemic. So, it is as if there are lots of reasons which could possess the existence of gender inequality. Now, I'll be speaking more towards South Asian culture. So there is a disclaimer to you, audience. Please keep aside your thoughts and concepts about relationship, marriage, married life, and so on, because this is a bit different in South Asian culture. The UNICEF report states that in all South Asian countries, patriarchal values and social norms, they keep gender inequality still alive. The discriminatory practices, they begin even before the birth of the child and is carried out throughout every phase of the child's future. The customary thought of people are girls are born to be fed throughout their life and boys are born to earn and support the family. Social scientists, they documented for the half-past century there has been a dramatic change in the sequence. But the practices, they are very deep-rooted. Mostly, if you say, who decides the limit to the dream of a woman? Here, because even though the girls get educated at least to the age of 18 or maximum to 21, they promote a very little proportion of working population. Is it because that they don't want to? Is it because of lack of opportunities? Mostly, it's because they have to give up on it, and that's due to their circumstances. All those women, for now, who are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, looking after their family and sitting at home, is it because that they didn't have any other dreams other than that? No, it was because they have to give up on it, and that was due to their circumstances. Now, I'll share you the story of a girl from one of the South Asian country who was a dreamer, who dreamed of becoming a strong and independent woman, who dreamed of acquiring the highest education that she could, who dreamed of exploring the world. She was born and brought up in her mother country where she did all her schoolings and degree. And once she was around to complete her bachelor degree, she got the first call for marriage proposals. Talking about marriage proposal, the report states that 80% of the South Asian marriages are arranged by the brides and grooms' parents or families. And most of the new spouses, they have never met each other before they have been introduced by their family. Situations are changing, but the process is very slow, and this is considered to be the traditional way. There is actually a blind belief marriage is something which is necessary to have a happy life. Being single after a certain age or getting divorced is something which is very unacceptable. Once a girl reaches a particular age, the society pressurizes her to get married. Especially in this case, more than you and your parents, is a society who is more concerned about it. And it is customary in the South Asian community to be faced with unsolicited questions about your marital status. Because along with your educational background and your professional background, your marital status is something which is very essential to define who you are. And even during the time of marriage proposals, the groom or his family states that the girl is not allowed to continue her studies or her profession after the marriage. Sometimes she might get the promises that she could continue this after the marriage, and mostly in case of education, the groom or his family could sponsor her. And most probably, these promises also float in air because of their circumstances. But the question here is, if your parents could raise you up, get you educated till this age, what is the necessity of depending on someone else to decide your future? Luckily, the protagonist of this story, she was able to convince her parents about her dreams and that she is not ready for a marriage at the moment. She gained a scholarship, did her master's, and got a job in a multinational company. Even though her dream was to acquire from an abroad university a doctoral studies, she took this as an opportunity to get into the industry as well as a time to prepare herself for her dream. But here comes the ironic turn of event that she got a second call for marriage proposal. Because for the society, now she has already completed her studies. She got a job. She's financially settled. More than that, she crossed the societal age threshold to get married. Talking about marriage, for most of the parents, the ultimate aim of their life is to see their children get married off. Parents, they save their life's earnings just for their daughter's wedding, rather than investing it for her dreams. Dowry, the money or property which is brought by a woman to her husband during the time of marriage, is something which is legally prohibited. But this is silently observed in these communities. There are people who still demand it, irrespective of however educated they are. There are reports of violences, murders, suicides just took place on basis of this traditional activity. And why the girl's parents are giving this? Because they just have to ensure their child is safe at the other home. Isn't it showing how worthless a woman is being considered and treated? Everything which is done in sake of protecting her has turned out to be the real curse for her. Back to the story, now the protagonist and her family is pressurized by the societies and their relatives to get this girl married off. Even though the girl at the moment she don't want to get married, she's forced to say yes for a marriage. But her only concern was that her better half should be someone who is accepting her dreams and concepts. Then, there comes the proposal of a boy who is convincingly supportive to all her dreams. Now the marriage is fixed. Luckily, the girl was able to realize that if this marriage occurs, that she only has two future possibilities in her life. Either that she is going to get married off and her dreams of becoming an independent woman is going to shatter. Or to keep her dreams of becoming an independent woman alive, that she has to do something. She talked about this with her family. What do you think that she might have got in response? It was like, you are a girl, you have to adjust. Adjustment gives you a happy life. Now if the marriage is fixed, nothing can be changed. But her mother was the only pillar where she could rely on. Her mother asked her to take a decision what her heart says. And for whatever it might be, that her mother is always with her. This gave the girl the courage to take the decision of her life. She said that she didn't want a marriage which is an adjustment. Rather, it must be understanding. And hence, she called off the wedding. You know how it is to call off a wedding in a society which consider being a widow is rather okay, but being a divorcee is some kind of a sin. Yes, obviously it was a very inconvenient situation. But she overcome it with the support of her family. Now, she is where she wanted to be. She showcased that girls can also earn and support the family, not only boys. For her, her dreams was not something that she saw in her sleep. It was something that doesn't let her sleep. So what I have to emphasize is, you only have the key for your own happiness. Don't give this to somebody else and expect them to make you happy. That's never going to happen. Not only for the case of happiness, but also for everything that happens in your life. For example, if someone cheats you, it occurs because you gave them the chance to. So it's your life, choose it wisely. To the second part of the story, how the girl followed her dream. Her dream was to pursue a doctoral studies from an abroad university. So the first concern was she has to convince her parents about how confident and capable she is to move to a different country and live alone. Second, she was unaware about the opportunities and procedures to get into an abroad university for her doctoral studies. So first, she started searching it with her friend circle, and literally there were no one who was doing a doctoral studies in an abroad university. Then she started searching with the academic information centers, where they asked her to go for an abroad master's, which could give her more opportunities to get into an abroad university for doctoral studies. This did not stop her. She started searching it by herself through the internet, connected through the networking sites, seek professional advices, started applying it by herself. She received a lot of rejections. Again, this did not quit her. She learned from her rejections, keep on applying. You might have heard what Paulo Coelho has mentioned in Alchemist. When you want something, the whole universe conspires in helping you achieve it. She eventually started getting the interview calls and was selected in the third interview that she attended, and even got more than one offers. So, if you are really enthusiastic about your dreams, for sure you will achieve them one day. If people call this as luck, luck is preparation and opportunities. Prepare yourself and grab the opportunities. Now to the answer for the question, who decides the limit to the dream of a woman? Nobody else, it's herself. At least in this story, the protagonist has the support of her family during her difficult time. But there are lots of girls and women around us who are struggling. Let's join our hands to motivate them with our support. And for all those who are struggling, I have a message from Mahatma Gandhi to you. Strength does not come from winning. Your struggle develops your strength. When you face hardship and decide not to surrender, that is strength. Thank you.